Welcome. So, in our hyper digital world, we just kind of assume that students are natural tech wizards. But does that automatically make them ready for online learning? A really interesting new study digs into this, and it asks what really makes the difference. Let's jump in. You've heard the term digital natives, right? We throw it around all the time, assuming that just by growing up with smartphones and tablets, students are naturally prepared for online classes. But this study puts a big question mark on that whole idea. It asks, is being good with tech the same thing as being good at learning with tech? Turns out it's not that simple. I mean, think about it. The pandemic was this giant, unplanned experiment. Almost overnight, education all over the world just went online. And this created a massive puzzle for everyone: educators, researchers, students. With everybody now staring at a screen, what are the actual ingredients for success? What's the difference between an online class that works and one that's just, well, a frustrating mess? So to solve this puzzle, we're going to follow the exact path the researchers took. First, we'll look at the key concepts they were trying to untangle. Then, we'll see how they actually designed their study. After that, the fun part: what the data showed us. And finally, we'll connect all the dots to figure out what this all means for the future of education. Okay, first up, the post-COVID learning puzzle. Now, before the researchers could even begin to test their theories, they had to be absolutely crystal clear on what they were even talking about. So let's get our definitions straight. The first piece of the puzzle is what they call digital competence, or DC. And listen, this is way more than just knowing how to open a Word doc or send an email. The researchers define it as the confident and, importantly, the critical use of technology for, well, pretty much everything. Finding good info, creating stuff, communicating, staying safe online. It's a much deeper skill set. Next up, we have learner agility, or LA. Honestly, this is like a student's superpower in our crazy, fast-changing world. It's their ability to adapt on the fly, to learn new things quickly, and, this is a big one, to unlearn old habits that just don't work anymore. It's all about being a flexible learner. And the final piece is perceived learning, or PL. And this one is so important. This isn't about their grades on a test. It's about whether the student feels like they've actually learned something useful. It's their own gut check on how effective the whole thing was, and that feeling is a massive driver of motivation. So we've got our three core ideas: digital competence, learner agility, and perceived learning. How did the researchers plan to see if they were connected? Let's get into the design of the study and check out their game plan. The team went out and surveyed 359 university students in India. The group was about 62% male, 38% female. And here's the key: every single one of them had at least a full year of online classes. So they weren't new to this, they had plenty of real-world experience to draw from. Their process was really methodical. First, they built a super detailed questionnaire based on well-established academic frameworks to measure our three big concepts. Then they sent it out and got all 359 responses back. And finally, they fired up a powerful statistical tool called structural equation modeling to crunch the numbers and hunt for any meaningful connections. Okay, so before they ran the analysis, the researchers made some educated guesses, what we call hypotheses. They figured, number one, better digital skills probably lead to students feeling like they've learned more. Makes sense. Number two, better digital skills probably make students more agile and adaptable. And three, that agility itself would also boost how much they felt they learned. But here's the big one, the really crucial idea. They believed learner agility wasn't just another factor, but that it acted as the bridge connecting everything together. All right, the stage is set, the theories are in place, time for the moment of truth. What did the data actually say? Let's dive into the results and see what they found. First question: is there a direct link between having digital skills and feeling like you've learned something? The result? Yes, a significant positive link. The data confirmed it. The more digitally competent students were, the more they felt they were actually getting something out of their online courses. Hypothesis 1 is a winner. And for those who like the numbers, they found a path coefficient of 0.33. You don't have to be a stats whiz, just know that this number is the proof. It confirms there's a solid, meaningful relationship there. So what about the next connection? Do tech skills make students more adaptable learners? The answer here was an even bigger yes. The data showed a really strong positive link. Being good with tech has a major impact on a student's agility. And look at this number, a path coefficient of 0.59. That's a huge jump from the last one. And this is a massive clue. It tells us that while digital skills are good for learning directly, their biggest effect is actually on building up a student's agility. This is a key piece of our puzzle. So we know there are these direct connections. But what about that bridge we were talking about earlier? Well, this is where the most fascinating and, frankly, the most important finding of the whole study comes into play. This quote from the research just nails it. The analysis confirmed their big theory. Learner agility really is the mediator. It's the critical link in the chain. It's the thing that translates being good with tech into actually feeling like you learned effectively. Let's break that down because it's a game changer. Digital skills are great, no doubt, but their real power is kind of indirect. The way they really boost learning is by first making a student more agile. And it's that agility, that flexibility, that then supercharges their sense of accomplishment. Agility is the secret ingredient here. Okay, so this is a pretty huge insight. What do we do with this information? Let's talk about the practical side of things. What does this mean for students, for teachers, for schools, for how we actually approach education now? The researchers lay out some really clear advice. First, stop treating digital skills like some separate IT course. You've got to weave this stuff into the entire curriculum. Second, design classes that encourage students to be self-directed and flexible, because that's what builds agility. Third, teachers themselves have to be up to speed and have a positive attitude about tech. And finally, this whole process needs to start way earlier, long before students even set foot on a university campus. When you boil it all down, the main point is this. For too long, we've been obsessed with teaching students how to use the tools, how to use this app, how to log into that platform. But this research is telling us we need to shift our focus. The real goal isn't teaching them how to use the tools, it's teaching them how to learn with the tools. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As we keep building this new future of education, how do we make that critical shift? How do we move past just basic digital training and start, actually building that deeper, more powerful skill of true digital agility? Because according to this research, that seems to be the real key to unlocking the future of learning.